Hello everybody and welcome to Greenstar Trading with me Tom. All views, opinions and ideas expressed in this video are my own and do not constitute financial or trading advice in any way. Right, for the next few minutes we're going to be looking at XRP, Dash, Tron, ADA and NEO. This is our altcoin roundup for the week. Now, I'm not going to be spending an hour on this one like I did the first one. I'm going to try and get this done as fast as possible because all we're doing from here is updating price action as the chart progresses. If you want a more detailed explanation of the overall count, go and watch last week's altcoin video where I spent the time bringing everybody up to speed of where we've gotten to so far. From now on, all I'm going to be doing is updating price data and adjusting the chart accordingly, and if price breaks down or breaks out and we have to take a slightly more detailed view, we'll do it when we have to. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So in the meantime, let's try and get through this a bit quicker. We're here on the 2-hour chart currently on XRP. Like I said, if you're not up to speed with the count yet, go and watch the previous video. So, having bottomed in what we're thinking was an intermediate wave 2, assuming the bullish count is correct for a moment, we've had a minute wave 1 into a minute wave 2, and now we're tracking what we think is a minute wave 3, 4, 5 into minor 1, having done primary 1, primary and intermediate 1. So now we're looking minute 1, minuet 1, sub-minuet 1, so on and so forth, as we build this wave 3 extension. So, 5 waves into a 1, 3 waves into a 2, well I think is a flat pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, nice clear, 5 wave structure at sub-minute degree into minuet 3. Working on an ABC with a parity target down here of C equals A at 1.00718. Now it's possible we've already bottomed and we don't need to come down any lower. If I just show you a couple of fib retracements here for a moment. Let's look at the... bear with me one moment, I'll find it. There we go. So if we take the length of the wave 1, project it from the 2 to find our wave 3 target, we find a perfect target at 161.8 here, and then we start this sideways correction. So this is likely correct. This move and this move are related, and this is likely a 3-wave correction, which is part of this greater move. So looking to complete a 4 and thrust up into a 5 to find a 3 to find a deeper, greater correction at minute degree to come in the next few days and weeks. Okay, so far we've retraced, bear with me, turn this one off. Where is this coming from? This is coming from, right, that's not the one we want to use. So, where have I put that? I stuck it in here for some reason. That needs to go into the fibs. Alright, there we go. I misplaced it. Yeah, so taking the wave 3 length, the retracement of the wave 3 for the wave 4 target is the 38.2 to 23.6 are the most typical. We've gone through the 23.6 in log. We've double bottomed quite clearly here at the 38.2, and then we've bounced a little bit. So if this level holds, it's likely we'll start in this impulse up into the 5 here. If this breaks, then we should be looking for that parity target first here, and if then maybe the 50 or maybe the 61.8 below, because we would still be not invalidating the wave 1, so we could still have a deeper wave 4, but we don't want to see it go too far, otherwise the structure is going to start to get a bit strained and we're going to end up with too much sideways action going on inside of this wave 4 to really be related to this wave 1. So we'd have to reconsider what we were looking at that point. Perhaps we could move the minute 3 to here and say this 1, 2, 3, 4 would fit better, but for the meantime we double bottomed here at the 38.2 and we've bounced. So let's see if we get some follow through up into the wave 5, and that's the way I'm seeing XRP at the moment. So still bullish, still expecting us to continue to push higher. So let's just save the chart. Right then, so that's XRP. Let's now go over and have a look at Dash. Similar story across multiple alts. This is a slightly different count. It gives us an alternative that I also have for NEO, which we'll go and look at in a little while as well. So instead of working on the idea of a 1, 2 primary, 1, 2 intermediate, I'm simply counting this as a 1, 2 intermediate, 3, 4, 5 into a primary 1. Now in log scale it looks very skewed, but when we look at it in linear scale we can see that this thrust up in the 3 was actually really massive. It was a huge move, as was this whole impulse here in the 3 into the primary 1. In log scale we seem to have a much bigger swing here in the 2. Now I absolutely hate this 1, 2 here. I wish I could put it here, Okay, but I can't get an impulse which makes any more sense. You know, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 makes a lot more sense than trying to go 1, 2. I don't even know. 3, 4, it seems extreme. So I've gone for this being an expanding flat. So we've gone 3 into an A, 3 into a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down into a C. It's just very drawn out. It's not particularly neat, but you know, it is what it is. Essentially, since the ABC into the low here at the primary 2, we're in a similar count to XRP. Slightly different structure, slightly different fib extensions. If we look at the initial swing here off of the pivot 1, 2 at minute degree, we've come to the 261.8 as a potential wave 3 target. So that would actually be the target here for the minute 3. But the wave structure suggests that we've actually gone 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, or 3. So an extension at minuet degree. If we shift into log, that 2618 target is shifted significantly higher. And since we're looking at a move off of the low of 177%, I think we can assume that we should be looking at this in log when projecting these targets, as we would have gone way past most of the typical fib extensions in linear scale. So same gig, we could have potentially completed a wave 4 here, as we do seem to, let's come down to 2 hour, stretch this out a bit, we do seem to have a completed ABC. I'm sure if you were attentive you could pick out 5 waves in the A, and there'd be 5 waves in here in the C as well, if you come down to a smaller time frame. But the fact that we've got a clear 5 here in the A is pretty good. Let's just have a look at our fib levels. Okay, have we got retracement? Yeah, is this off of the... Yes, this is off of the minute 3. So that's no use to us at the moment, is it? Yeah, that's off of the low. I'm sure I had... what are these two here? Okay, I'm just going to be doing a little bit of tidying up. These two need to go into impulse off of the low. And pitchfork, we'll come and have a look at that. Yep. So still well within market geometry off of this primary pivot 1, 2 here, working our way up towards the median line. This should be resistance, stepping our way up as we go. Now let me just try and find that fib I was looking for. I think I'm just going to put another one on, as I seem to have neglected it. Essentially all I'm looking for is the retracement of this wave 3, just the same way we did in XRP. So let's just come down here and pick out this one here, run it up. I'm set to my golden ratio at the moment. Be doing a bit of trading with the SDS, so I haven't reset it. There we go. So 38.2 touch again, just like an XRP. So we've corrected 38.2% of this move up here in the 3 in log scale. Obviously in linear it's slightly through it again. So I think we'll just snap that onto the low here with a magnet. And we'll do the same up here. La-di-da. And that's right, isn't it? Yep. Okay, so that's the retracement. We'll lock this in place and we'll hide this one, and we'll throw that into our fibs folder along with this trend extension here as well, and everything's neat and tidy. So for the meantime, we've done a 38.2 and we've bounced a little bit. Now it's possible that this could be 3 waves. I'll turn the bloody magnet off. It's possible this could be 3 waves to here, this could be 3 waves higher, and then you could have 5 waves down, and this could be a flat pattern because we started with a 3 instead of a 5. We've gone 5, 3, 5, so that's a 3 wave structure. So it could be complete a minute degree. I think a completion here fits better in terms of the overall wave degree. Suits better. If we were to go out much further, we'd start to stretch this. So let's just have a quick look at how we're looking. If we're assuming this is a 3 wave into a B, 5 wave down into a 2 here for a flat pattern. Alright, so from this perspective, let's come out to linear. We can see that we're already well out of this channel, so we can't really use this until we find our wave 4. So we'd be dragging it down like that. That's how it looks. See how it looks in log. Okay, so then projecting the 5 out somewhere near the top of the channel again, we could get up there in a hurry, or we could do some kind of running flats would be possible as well. We could do this for a 4 and then push up into a 5. Alright, so we don't need that. We can throw that on whenever we want. Let's just see if we can get a pitchfork to fit it a little bit better. It gives us a few more options. Let's come down to the swing of the Minuet Wave 1. Minuet Wave 2 is down here. Okay. Bear with me one moment. We don't want the original. The shift isn't really containing it at all. Modified shift looks good. Alright. In log. See how we look in log. Out of log. Come back to the median line here. It doesn't look great, does it? The problem is at smaller wave degrees, this is always less reliable at smaller wave degrees than it is at larger waves where things tend to play out much more neatly. The original pitchfork in linear seems to be the best fit for the moment. Peaking out in a wave 3 at the top, one more thrust up into a wave 5. So what I think I'll do is I'll save that one, and I think the original seems to fit better as an impulse rather than using more typically pitchforks like the shift and the modified shift. You can apply to corrections typically, but in log scale they can often contain impulsive moves. But when you're placing a pitchfork in linear off of a 1-2 pivot at any time frame, so minute, primary, whatever, you should always look at an original pitchfork first. So we'll stick with that one. It's a little, it's not great because we have seemed to be falling out the thing a lot, but I'll look at it when I've got a bit more time. Okay, so retraced 38.2%, found a neat target up here for the 3. I don't think I actually checked the minute wave degree target, so let's just do that now and see what we come up with. This is the flat, 1, 2, straight to the 2618 at this degree. So let's hide this one out of the way. And here's the 2618 off of the minuet degree, so quite an extension in the 3, but that's the secondary target after the 1618. And now we've retraced 38.2, so we'll save dash there, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. So same, very similar situation to XRP, just changing the broader count into primary rather than intermediate. Let's move on to Tron. Same idea as in XRP. Here we have a 1, 2 at primary, 1, 2 at intermediate. Doesn't make much sense in linear scale here, but if we switch into log scale, it all seems to make perfect sense. It's not quite as strong off of the low here as Dash or XRP in terms of the extensions we're looking at for our minute wave 3 here. Have I put one up here yet? Retrace 50% of the down move in log. I think that's roughly 38.2 if we look at it with my fib set up. Yeah, it is spot on 38.2%. Okay, let's hide that. What's the trend extension? So the trend extension is a 1.618 in linear scale here. We can see how if we take this minute wave swing, 1, 2, project it forward, we top out our wave 3 here at 1618. So rather than looking for the minute wave 3 to complete higher like we are in XRP or in Dash, we're happy to call the minute wave 3 here for the moment at the 1618, purely because the wave structure seems to support it. So far as a retracement from the minute wave low goes, we are just shy of the 38.2 and around the 23.6 here in log scale. So let's have another quick look at the minuet degree. See, this is very tricky because if you look at each of these candles, we get these really long wicks to the up and the downside. So let's just see if we can see clear in the 4 hour for a minute. I don't want to get too caught up in this. This seems to be a 3 wave swing here. 1, 2, 3, and then 1. Is that a diagonal in an A, B, C, or W, X, Y perhaps? 1, 2. This could be an A, B. It's not particularly neat, this one. I think we're putting in a wave 4, but the structure's a little dodgy. 1, 2, 3, 4. That could be 1, 2, 3. No, it's not. I'm thinking it could be a triangle for a minute. But then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here into a 5. Like so. Let's just check these targets very, very quickly. One off the Okay, we don't get near the 1618 for the 3 here. We do come to the 2618 here. It's possible. I guess it's possible that it's the same gig. You could move the 3 over to here, move the 4 out of the way, and you could shift this 3 to here at the 2618 and say that there's another subwave in here. 1, 2. So you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the minute 3. We could do that. I'll have a think about that and reconsider that once I've got a bit of time. In the meantime, I'll just leave it like that and assume that we're still in the minute wave 4 for the moment. Okay, hide this one out of the way as well. Save the chart. So looking for minute wave 4 to complete. It may have completed here. We've got the same kind of double bottom we've got on XRP, and we've got a bounce. So I'm only really interested once this level breaks. If this level breaks, let's do the same thing we've done for XRP. Then let's just take the length of this initial move down to this low here, project it from our current high, and we need to move into an extension here. Okay, and this gives us a target down here in linear scale, and we will just get rid of that because we can measure that whenever we want. Pop a price on it. Lock that in place. Lock that in place. So a 3-wave move, if we were to get parity with this initial move down, we'd end up down here at 0.0758. Okay, so we'll just save a chart like that for a moment so I can remember what I was thinking. We'll throw a label on it as well and say A, B, could be complete with a C in the double bottom. C could come lower, the same in XRP. So this is going to go into that count over there, and we'll just leave that poly separately, that poly line. Price target, we haven't labeled, we haven't written what it is it? So let's just get a text down here and say C equals A minute. Okay, and then we'll throw these together. So yeah, throw all that together and say target minute wave 4. Like so. Alright, so that's Tron. As you can see, bit of a theme emerging here. We're all roughly doing the same thing. Not a surprise, really, is it? It's one of the reasons why when people keep asking me, can you look at this alt, can you look at that alt, can you look at this alt? If I looked at every single alt I got suggested, I'd end up looking at 1,000 of them. Excuse me. I think we're looking at enough as it is. If the only other one I'm going to be adding to this, because I think it adds some greater value, will be when I complete my deep dive for my patrons on Ether. I will add Ethereum to this as well, because if you don't know why, go and watch the previous altcoin video. I explained my idea about which altcoins are in which legs of them are in which wave degree. So let's move on to ADA. Now, different kettle of fish here with ADA, because we've made a new high. Uber bullish. ADA's been so strong. A lot of them, while the rest of the market's been correcting, ADA's been pushing to new highs. But this, as I've pointed out with my count, isn't necessarily as positive. I know it sounds a bit counterproductive, but it's because I'm working on the completed primary wave degree, suggesting that we are now working our way up into that 5th primary wave. Okay, whereas Bitcoin might be doing that, it might not be, and many of the alts aren't even out the car park yet. I mean, they're still doing 1, 2, 1, 2, so ADA is way ahead, way ahead of a lot of the market here. If this count is correct, which is a 3 completed triangle into a 4, it is a contracting triangle. I know it looks like a barrier triangle, which would place the B and the D on this side and a continuation of that downward trend, but we did not get it. We got a reversal to the upside, so it is a symmetrical triangle, or it's something else, which I don't know what it is. So from that point, we've broken out higher and gone just on a rip of a rally. Let's just come down to the 4-hour time frame here. Absolutely raced up. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into minute 3, correct into minute 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into minute 5 into minor 3. That's one option. The other option is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 completed a 1. up here. So if this was minor wave degree, this would be intermediate 1 completed, so a deep retracement into intermediate 2 would be expected, and then a giant push up into intermediate 3 of the primary 5. So whatever we do here to correct this, we could easily keep pushing higher. It appears to me so far that the move from the high is likely a free wave move. So it is either a completed wave, okay, or it's 3 waves to here, maybe 3 waves up to here, and then maybe 5 waves down to here. So it could be a flat pattern forming, but it does seem to be complete. You know, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves within this 3, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves within this 5. So unless we're building another extension again, and this is another 1, 2, then we should start the rollover sometime soon and have a slightly more significant correction, head down. So either completed a wave up here or one more push up into a minor wave 5. So where would that be? We need to drag that down to meters. We're in log scale, so it's 1,000,000 miles away. What I've done is I've shoved them all at the top of the chart here. There we go, out to one side. So bring in our minor 5. So if this is if the yellow count is correct, we're going to have another 5 wave move up into a minor 5 here. So we're going to go done 3, 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Could be that flat pattern for the 4. Okay, and then we'll push up into a 5. Then we'll reverse, having completed a 1 into a 2. Or we've done the 1 and now we're going to make our way down into a 2. That's how I see ADA at the moment. I think I'm leaning towards pushing a bit higher because that's what the rest of the alts seem to be preparing to do, push a little higher. So maybe just looking for a little bit further up to find that 1, and then we can come down in a more significant correction. If we just do some fib level checks here for a moment. What's this pitchfork? That's the long term one. Actually, that's a good idea. Let's just have a quick look at this long-term pitchfork off of the primary 1, 2. See, we're on another run. So, I think we've come up so far, so fast, that we're threatening market structure too early, if that makes any sense. Because if this is 3 into 4, and this is 5, then that would be completing a cycle degree, which would be a total implosion of the price. Just complete collapse. So I feel that we're probably more likely coming up into something like a 1, we're going to get a deep 2, then we're going to come up with a 3, which may likely take us out of the pitchfork, then we'll come back to the 4, then we push up again. More likely to get some kind of structure like that. But it is possible, considering that the wave 3 primary degree here is here, that a wave 5 only needs to clear it to top out, and then in that case you would have a huge correction. So definitely be keeping an eye on this one going forward. ADA is acting quite differently from everything else we've been observing. Making new highs for a start makes it stand out. So like I said, I was just going to do a couple of fib extensions here. So let's just see what we've got off of the 1 and the 2. So we're at the 2618 here. So this could be the target for the 3. That's in log. If we come off of log, it's all the way up at the 423.6. That's how bullish ADA's been in the last few weeks. Been phenomenal. Right, so let's go back into log. So that's a likely target for a 3. What was it? What was this target here? This is 2618 here in linear. So it's possible that the orange count is based on the idea that this is 1, 2, 2618 is 3, 4, and we're done here at the 5. Whereas the other count in a log suggests that this is the 3. So be on your guard either way, I would say at the moment, because if we're going to pull back, there might be a buying opportunity down here as we've completed a larger wave degree, but we're right around 2 fib targets at the moment. One's looking extremely overextended. The orange count's more conservative and would be more typical that we've just completed 5 waves up here. The yellow count is extremely bullish and suggests we could push a little higher. So that's ADA. Let's have a look at NEO now. Don't think I've looked at this one yet, but I've got 2 counts. The wave 1 extension again, wave 3 extension again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 1, 2 into a 3, 4. Very similar to everything else we've been looking at, except I can't pick out as cleanly the wave structure here. Okay, so I'm giving it the benefit of a doubt that it's 5 waves into a 1-2 and 5 waves into a 1-2, as this peak here doesn't really look like a 1-2-3-4 to me. This looks like an initial peak. You could maybe argue that this was the 1-2 down here, and then this is here, the 1-2, but then it still doesn't make any sense that this would be a 3-4. So for the moment I'm just going to say 1-2, 1-2. If this is the case, this should rocket higher pretty soon. We seem to be doing the same double bottom action we've been doing in XRP, and I think it was Dash and Tron. We're all doing the same thing. We're all doing this double bottom thing at the moment. So we're either putting support with bounced, or we're just going to break these levels. If we do, we can look to our targets in XRP and our targets in Tron, because we're all doing the same thing at the moment. Now the alternative count I've got here for Neo, if we just switch off the bull count, bring on the bear count for a moment, and we get rid of this correction, is the exact same idea as, oh excuse me, doodling on the chart, is the exact same idea as Dash, which is 5 waves into a 1 at primary degree rather than 1-2, 1-2. See, 5 waves into a 1-2. So depending on how you look at this, it could be extremely bullish in the long term and extremely bearish in the short term, because yes, you can count this as an ABC the same way you can in Dash, and you can say it's completed ABC, but you can rather dodgily get 5 waves into here. Now I'm not a fan of it because it is ugly as sin, but there's no overlap, the 3 isn't the shortest, and we do seem to have a 5 wave structure here into a 5. So you could say this is 5, so 5 into a 1, 2, there is 5 waves down here into a 3, there's a triangle in the 4, and there's 5 waves down here into a 5, so it could be counted as 5-3-5, or it could be counted as 5-3-5-3-5 as an impulse. If that's correct, then you're going to have another thrust lower, which should be more in line with what we're expecting in Bitcoin. Well, not what we're expecting. One of the bearish option in Bitcoin suggests an ABC lower. But I think I still prefer the bullish count overall. I think it looks better. It's just I can't really make much sense of this initial bounce off of the low. We seem to be impulsing much more cleanly here in XRP and also in Dash as well, with this nice subdivision. Whereas we're not really getting that in Neo at the moment. It's a bit fragmented and a bit harder to make sense of. So there you go, that's our Elliott Wave analysis of our altcoins. Let's just do some very quick basic analysis. How about we go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, XRP then. And what we'll do is we'll bring up, because I haven't got time to go through all of them, it'll take me forever. So let's just have a quick look at our EMA ribbon here. Okay, and we'll hide all the count. And let's get rid of that noise for the moment. And we'll just look and see what we can see. Let's come all the way out to the weekly time frame first. Might do this on another chart at the minute. Let me just see how we're doing for time. 28 minutes. Well, we're doing significantly better than we did last time. Okay. Now, when I do my deep dive videos for my patrons, they'll be familiar with this. When we're looking for, on the weekly time frame, and we're looking for prolonged moves above and below certain moving averages to confirm bearish and bullish phases in the market. So regarding this big bearish move down that we saw back in 2014 to 2017, sustained move below the 60, 20 and the 10 on the weekly time frame, and then a sustained move above the 60 and then the 10 and the 20 respectively. Well, we've seen the same happen here. You know, we've come down a long bearish phase below the 60, below the 20, below the 10. The 250 is now visible because we've got enough price data on the weekly time frame to include the 250 weekly moving average, because there's now 250 weeks at least of price data from this point. So since then we've moved back through the 10, the 20 and the 60, come back, had a big test down here at some point, and now we're still moving up above the 60 exponential moving average, which is the orange line here. I should remind everybody, shouldn't I, in case you knew. The 10 in yellow, 20 in blue, 60 in orange, 250 in green, and also the RSI here is set to a 10 close, green 30 level being oversold, red 70 level being overbought, and the MACD with a 10 and a 20 for the average and the signal. So holding above the 60 here for the moment, and this is in the very roughest sense what we think is going on. We're going 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we're blowing up in a 3 into a wave 3 extension. So from a basic technical analysis point of view, we've gone for a long bearish phase. We've moved back above major moving averages. We have yet to make a new high. So it does look like a new bull market in the simplest sense. So I'm still very bullish. And I think that we're going much higher with all the crypto space. I know that I've recently said also that a deeper correction in Bitcoin is possible, but I've outlined in previous videos why I believe the two can be reconciled. My view on altcoins, on some of the altcoins, and my view on the bitcoins, on the bitcoins, what we're talking about, on Bitcoin. So RSI here in a weekly time frame, we've got this bearish divergence we had between the high on the 23rd of November and the high we had here on the 5th of April. This has led to this current correction, which may or may not be complete, because we've had a move down, it could be back up, and it could be back down, maybe to test the 250 to stay bullish before moving up. That's the more bearish scenario. Okay, but only in the short term. I still think we're going to go higher. Crossover on the weekly time frame, two bright green bars on the histogram here. You can see the signal is accelerating away from the average, or the average is, sorry, is accelerating away from the signal. Would like to see further momentum come into the market. Would like to see this well, we can't call it divergence yet, because we've got a high and a lower high, high and a lower high. So RSI since this peak is just mimicking price action, so nothing to read into there. Let's come down to the daily time frame. Alright then. On the daily, we are trading around the 20 exponential moving average at the moment. Still above the 60, still above the 250. Cooling off the RSI. No sudden or violent breakdown. And no divergence was witnessed prior to these peaks, which is a sign of strength, putting it simply, which would help support our idea that we're in a wave 3, because between this high and this high, we got a high and a higher high. So, or did we? Yes, we did. High, higher high, 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 high. So no, there was no bearish divergence preceding this correction. So beyond guard now then, in that case, if we are coming up in a structure 3-4, the 5th will come to here, and that's when we should be looking for divergence to here to a lower high, and maybe the same in the MACD to a lower high. So that helps. I think that's strong support for the idea that this is a 3 into a 4, because we've got peak here, RSI reading very high. We've got a peak here also, and if we are suspecting a lower high in the RSI, that would fit perfectly that this is a structure into 5 waves here, and that we will end up with that divergence. So something to look for on the daily time frame, which suggests we are going to go higher in the meantime. That we could have that A, B, C a little bit lower and then go higher, but I still think this looks like a wave 3 is completed at minuet degree, so we should be coming down into a 4 before thrusting higher. Alright, what are we doing for time now? 33 minutes. Right, let's look at ADA then. We'll take a look at ADA on the weekly because it's the one that stands out and it looks different. So let's just hide all the count and all the gumph for a moment. Clear everything up. And we're just going to bring up our ribbon. Okay, and we're going to... Am I missing the 250 on this? No, it's just not visible. Okay. Hide it out of the way, bring up our indicators. I see, because it's in a very different circumstance, it's giving very different signals. Yes, we're above the 10, we're above the 20, we're above the 60 on the weekly time frame. That's all good. But what we can see here is we have a high and then a lower high, and then what is currently lower in the RSI in price action. It's tricky because you could just say, oh, that's triple divergence, like that. We've got a high, lower high, lower high, high, higher high, higher high. We don't know if this is the high yet. This is just current price action. Now, we're not getting, are we getting the same? We are getting some divergence between the high here and the high here in the MACD as well. So we can say there's bearish divergence here between these highs and these highs in the so we are doing something quite different. This suggests that we are definitely near the end of a move, whereas many of the alts are suggesting we're at the start of one. What exactly this move is, we'll have to wait and see, because the two options I see is that this is either completing the same cycle degree we expect Bitcoin and Ether and Litecoin and some of the other coins which have made new highs to complete, or it's something insanely bullish. The insanely bullish option would be that all of this is a 1. Not a cycle 3, but just a 1. And then you're going to have a monumental correction. And then we're off into a 3, which is just going to take us to the moon. That could be many months away yet, maybe a year or so. I don't know. But for the meantime, we have divergence building up. We've made new highs in recent terms and in all-time terms. So be on your guard, because there's divergence building up. Plus our count suggests that we are going to potentially top out in something up here soon, which could be quite significant. On the daily time frame, above the 10, 20, 60, 250, divergence building up on the daily time frame as well, between the high back here, the high here, and the high here. We see a high and a lower high, so a high and a lower high here in the RSI. No such thing here on the MACD. This continues to push higher, so not confirming what the RSI is saying. If it was, that would be more bearish in the short term, I guess you could say. So maybe there's a little bit more move up to get a little bit more divergence confirming here on the RSI as well. Then we'd have the MACD and the RSI countering what price is doing. That would signal the top, and then we would sell off. So definitely worth keeping an eye on the daily time frame and weekly time frame here as we track this developing divergence. It can disappear because we can't call the top a top until we have a reversal. It's just current price action. That's all we should really call it. Alright then guys, let's leave it there. I've done better than I did last week, but we're still getting on for 40 minutes. So I think I'm going to have to start dropping this to 2 altcoins, maybe 3 altcoins a week, as it's just going on for so long. So thank you very much for joining me on this technical analysis of our altcoin roundup. If you're new to the channel and you've liked what you've seen, please subscribe, smash the like, hit the little bell notification icon to remain informed of future video releases. Feel free to leave us a comment in the comment section below if you want to, and thank you as always to my Patreon subscribers. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, there's a whole raft of benefits I've gone through multiple times. There's a link in the to the Patreon in the description below. Go over, have a read of the tiers. If you're interested, I'd suggest that you wait until the start of next month to sign up, as you will be charged the day you join, and you'll be charged on the first of each subsequent month. Alright then guys, take care, and I'll be back with you soon. All the best. Bye.